Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So we're going to be investigating one of the absolute most visible, yet totally misunderstood, natural mysteries on the planet. I mean, we've all marveled at that crazy autumn color shift in our neighborhoods, right? But today we're actually decoding the secret biological life of those autumn leaves, basically transforming some pretty complex botany into a really fun, vibrant journey. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive right into this. Just think about this for a second. Why do trees wear fiery coats and then drop them like fluffy confetti? Every single year, almost like clockwork, these deciduous trees trade in their super efficient green canopies for these brilliant, fiery coats of yellow, orange, and red. And then, just weeks later, they drop them entirely. Why on earth would they expend all that energy just to do this? Well, to figure this out, we need to look at a leaf's life cycle from a completely new perspective. Section 1. The Green Superpower, or Pip the Leaf's Secret. To really understand what's happening during those summer months, let's look at a cheerful little metaphor from our source material, Pip the Leaf. So, Pip represents your typical green leaf, just hanging out, soaking up the sun's radiation. But here's the thing, that vibrant green, it isn't just for show, it's actually a biological superpower called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is this magic pigment inside the leaf, and you can think of it acting like a microscopic, bustling kitchen that is just working nonstop. So how exactly does this tiny kitchen operate? Well, here is the brilliant recipe that chlorophyll uses. Step 1, it catches that warm sunlight. Step 2, it pulls in water that's traveling all the way up from the roots. Step 3, it takes in carbon dioxide from the surrounding air. And finally, step 4, it uses all of that to bake what our source playfully calls yummy tree treats, which in science terms is actually glucose. These leaves work tirelessly all summer long, using this photosynthetic process to feed the entire tree. Which brings us to the next section, the secret colors revealed as autumn moves in. As the seasons start to shift, summer eventually packs its bags. And notice the stark environmental contrast here. We go from warm sunlight and really long days to chilly winds and much shorter daylight hours. Now, what's really interesting is that this shift in temperature and light, which is known as a changing photoperiod, basically acts as a biological alarm clock. The tree is essentially telling its leaves, hey, it's time to close up the kitchen for the winter. And when that green chlorophyll kitchen shuts down, something totally astonishing happens. Enter another great metaphor from our source, the very dramatic Rusty the Red Leaf. Rusty bursts onto the scene to reveal a massive secret, captured perfectly by this idea. The green chlorophyll was actually hiding us the whole time. Yep, you heard that right. Those brilliant colors of autumn aren't actually new at all. So let's break down exactly how this mechanism works. First, those secret colors, the yellows, oranges, and browns, which are known scientifically as carotenoids, are actually hiding inside the leaves all year long. Second, when autumn hits, the tree just stops making new food. Third, because that food production stops, that dominant green chlorophyll starts to break down and fade away entirely. And finally, with the green totally out of the picture, those hidden underlying colors finally get to party and show themselves. But wait, it gets even more fascinating. While the yellows and oranges were hiding there all along, some leaves, kind of like our dramatic friend Rusty, perform a secondary magic trick. As the season turns, some leaves trap newly made sugars inside their cells. And when the autumn sun kisses them goodbye, interacting with those trapped sugars, it produces brand new pigments called anthocyanins. This is what turns the leaves those fiery, brilliant reds and deep purples. It's literally a chemical reaction playing out right in front of our eyes. Moving on to our next section, why do leaves fall? Preparing for winter. So if these leaves look so gorgeous, you might be wondering, why do they eventually detach and fall off? Well, the crucial point here is survival. Trees absolutely need to sleep or enter a dormant state to save their energy. If the leaves just stayed on, they'd be constantly losing water through transpiration. And when that winter ground freezes solid, the roots simply can't drink or replace that water. Plus, think about it. Broad leaves would catch all that heavy snowfall, creating so much weight that the tree's branches would just snap right off. No way a tree wants that. To protect itself from freezing and snapping, the tree deploys a super clever defense mechanism. It builds what's called a separation layer, also known as an abscission zone. This is a tiny cork-like wall that forms right at the exact spot where the leaf stem meets the branch. As this little wall grows thicker, it severs the leaf's vascular connection to the tree, ultimately giving the leaf a gentle physical push right off the branch. And that brings us to the final stage, nature's crunchy blanket and a cozy landing. Once that separation layer is fully built, a gentle breeze is really all it takes to whisper time to fly and detach the leaves. But hitting the ground isn't a sad ending at all. It's actually an ecological beginning. Sure, it makes a really fun, crunchy playground for us, but more importantly, it creates a cozy home and vital habitat for bugs, worms, and microbes. As they break down, they create a warm, nutrient-rich blanket for the soil below. The beautiful truth of this entire process is that falling helps the tree rest up. Shedding these leaves allows the towering tree to conserve all its precious energy through the harsh winter, perfectly preparing it to grow a canopy of brand new superpowered green leaves the very next spring. It is just a perfect continuous cycle of life. So, now that you know the hidden magic of the separation layer and those secret colors, are you ready to jump into nature's nutrient blanket and listen to that magical crunch? We've uncovered the chemistry of chlorophyll, the masked colors waiting to party, and the ingenious cork-like walls that protect our forests all winter long. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. As global temperatures rise and our winters grow shorter, could this precise biological clock be disrupted, permanently altering the survival cycle of our forests? Next time you hear that magical crunch beneath your feet, take a second to think about the fragile science happening right beneath you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today.